We've still got people joining, so I'm going to give it another couple seconds here and then we'll get going. Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Matt Adam. I am the Chief Talent Strategist with NAS Recruitment Innovation. I'm going to be your co-host for today. I'm sitting in snowy Cincinnati, Ohio, and happy to have a packed house today with all of you joining. So this must be a topic that people are interested in because we had a record turnout and we're happy to have you all join. Probably a reason that you're here is that my co-host, Bonita Lancaster, is joining me. So Bonita, would you like to introduce yourself?
Of course. I'm Bonita Lancaster. I am the senior recruiter for Baptist Health in Montgomery, Alabama. Been recruiting right at 20 years, and happy to have this opportunity to share the screen with Matt today and talk a little bit about NAS.
Great. Welcome, Bonita. Perfect. Well, a couple of housekeeping items before we begin. First of all, we are recording this session, and we will send this out afterwards, as well as sharing the slides. So you will be getting those as a follow-up. I will say that we do have a very special incentive to stay till the end. So if you can stay till the end of this 30-minute session, we've got a really nice gift in exchange for your time today as an appreciation gift. You are muted, but we will be taking questions. So if you do have questions, and if we have time at the end, we will be fielding those. So feel free to put those in the comment section, and we'll be jumping into those as time allows. All right. So let's jump into this, and I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my camera, and we can jump right into the slide presentation. So first of all, just as a quick introduction of our organization, we are NAS Recruitment Innovation. We're an employment branding and recruitment marketing firm. Been in business since 1947 and really focus on the areas of employment branding and recruitment marketing. That is our specialty. We've been in business since 1947, as I mentioned, and we specialize in healthcare. So healthcare is our single largest vertical, and we are proud to have partnered with organizations such as these that you'll see here in front of you, as well as Bonita and Baptist Health Alabama. So enough about us. Let's get into the topic at hand. So the question that many organizations are asking themselves today is that, do we need a branded landing page, a branded destination page? So today our goal is to really back up, and we're going to dissect, first of all, whether you need one, and if so, how to get from start to finish in this project. So I thought I'd start with the elemental question of why do you need a physician landing page? There's a famous guy, Simon Sinek, who always says, start with the why. So that's where we're going to start. Just because everyone else is doing it or because lots of people are doing it doesn't mean that it's right for you. So I think this is really a good place to start. And I'm going to talk through a couple of talking points. And then we're going to hear from Bonita as to her journey and how she decided that she came to the conclusion that she needed a physician landing page. So I thought I'd start with the first some data around how physicians search for new jobs. And this is data that we've sourced from CompHealth. And I think this is a good insight into what physicians are looking for and how they actually search. And I think this, by looking at the multitude of ways that physicians are looking for jobs, it becomes clear that, first of all, there's no one way that candidates are looking for jobs. They're really looking in lots of different ways, from referrals and networking first and foremost, but also a lot of online methods as well. So medical specific job boards, they're going to general job boards, they're going to search engines, career fairs. So as you can see that there's no one path that candidates are taking. And to me, a lot of these methods end up with a candidate coming to your career site or a physician landing page to learn more. And I think it's a really great place to start. So with this data here, Bonita, let me turn to you and just ask the question of, what was the impetus for you guys deciding that you thought a landing page would be a good idea for your strategy?
Well, honestly, having done recruitment for as many years as I have, I've seen multiple formulas turned over during the years for what works and what doesn't work, and attending multiple career fairs, multiple residency programs, and trying to see what others are using and doing. And so it's kind of a fact-finding effort for us to see if we can maybe capture more easily candidates who might be looking for us. We actually, in the way that we have our job postings, there wasn't a way for them to connect with us directly. And we felt like that wasn't a deterrent. And so as we learned that there are probably in larger organizations than us, we're not small, but we're surrounded by a lot of rural areas. And so we didn't have the big tools that a lot of larger organizations might have. We didn't have a direct application process, nothing of that sort that matched maybe what HR has in a lot of organizations. And so recognizing that, it just kind of made sense for us to take a look at that process and how could we change it and make ourselves more accessible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. A couple of things I picked up from what you just said is, things have changed, right? Like some of the methods that you used even a couple of years ago maybe aren't as effective, or maybe aren't as effective because of COVID. But
Right.
the reality is that candidates are changing the way they're looking for jobs, and you recognize that you've got to change as well to keep with the times.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Good. Perfect. All right. Let's move along. So once you kind of make the go or no go decision, as Bonita did 6 months ago or so, the first question that you have to ask as you kind of decide to build a page out is, what content is important? This can be a pretty overwhelming, daunting task because there are a lot of things that you could put onto a page like this. But again, as you know, physicians have limited bandwidth, limited time. Oftentimes they're probably finding this page via mobile device. So you want to make sure that the content is really spot on and is speaking their language. So let's look at a couple data points here that I think are good to keep in mind when you are strategizing on what content is important. The first thing I'll share here is that and this is from the New England Journal of Medicine. This is a report of important factors when looking for a job online. So this is what matters when they're looking for a job. And as you can see, there's, just like the other chart, there's lots of different things. So it's not a one piece of information that you can put on your site that is going to connect with everyone. Different candidates are looking for different things out of a new opportunity. As you can see, there are some trends that we see though. Certainly quality of jobs is important. Detailed employer information. People want to know, what it's like at your organization, what that peek under the tent is like to work for you. They want to know the reputation of the organization, and and certainly some of the basics like salary, compensation, et cetera. So as you can see here, there's lots of different things to keep in mind when building out the content. The next thing I'll show is why physicians search for jobs. This is maybe taking a step back, but thinking about, again, the why. Putting yourself in the physician's mindset, I think, is a really important practice to do to build content that's going to connect with the candidates that you're looking for. So here you can see reasons physicians seek new positions in different facilities. First and foremost, inadequate compensation. That's probably not a surprise to many on the line. But then it comes into some things that might be a little more, flexible with different organizations. So poor work-life balance, bad management, too stressful. These are a couple of things that round out the first couple areas. And then also really important that the current job that they're in does not meet their expectations. One of the things we see often is that the opportunity that they were sold does not live up to the opportunity in reality. And that's, I think, another one of the strong suits of the landing page is it gives you an opportunity to really pull back the curtain, give candidates a peek under the tent as to what it's really like on the inside, and to help tell that story in a consistent manner. We also want to think about your audience. Some of you might be recruiting for new physician grads, and that is a little different messaging, a little different focus. As you can see here, they're focused more on the type of work they're doing, perhaps the specialties that they'll have the opportunity to delve into, and even importantly for them is the location that they're going to be. So again, we want to think about all the different audiences and how they match up. So here are just a quick list of some questions that we put together that will help you think through good content on your site. And let me go through these one at a time here really quickly, and then I'll turn to Bonita and kind of talk about kind of her process as well. So first and foremost, what attracts physicians and APs to your organization? So this is something that should be really unique to you. You shouldn't be able to go to another company's organization's landing page and see similar content, see something that could be interchanged with anybody else. This is designed to be really personal and really specific to your organization and your employee value propositions. How do you support physicians? It's really important. They want to know, the type of organization they're coming into, the type of support they'll have, a really key component of that. Going hand in hand, the next couple are around culture. What's the culture like? They want to be able to maybe meet or listen to or hear testimonials from people who are already working in those positions. The settings are important, and then you can see some other questions down here. So again, lots of things to think and keep in mind as you're building out these pages with the content that is right for you. So this all leads to a little intermission where I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go out to Bonita's site, and we can look at that site live and have Bonita kind of walk us through a little bit of the development of this landing page and some of the content elements that were put into it. So Bonita, can you see my screen?
I can, yes,
okay.
Thank you. And I will just say, our organization is a well-known, well-established organization. Baptist Health in Montgomery, been there since 1963. And over the course of time, of course, technology has kind of advanced and taken over, and we've had to kind of meld with that. When we talk about or think about what you want to present to physicians, sometimes it's kind of like building an ice cream sundae if you're at one of those places that has like 60 different choices to put on your ice cream sundae. And for us, many of our leaders want every topping. And it's just not possible. We all know that physicians tend to lose interest if they don't see what interests them immediately on your screen. And so we really had to pare down. Some of Matt's staff may say we didn't really pare down because we kind of pushed them to put some initial things in there. But we thought about, what kinds of things are we asked about? And because we're a smaller community, because we're not a place that most people would think about, we have great support from our Chamber of Commerce. And so we were able to gather information from them. The video that's showing on the screen right now, our marketing team put together for us. And it kind of highlights what the community looks like, because we feel like a hospital is a hospital in most cases, if you're talking about a metropolitan area and not a large academic center setting. And so see the community, let's see what it looks like does it look like we could have things to do there? And so we thought it was really important to add that video at the front end. The other piece that you see there is a Let's Connect box, and that's so that they can apply directly to us. That gives them a place to just enter the basics, and then we can follow up from there. And that, to me, is a bigger help for me than possibly for the physician. Now, I'm going to be clear, we're still transitioning. We haven't actually been able to utilize that section of it yet, but I can't wait to the time when I can actually go in, review applicants, talk to them, and see what they're asking and how to address that. I think it's going to be a huge positive, and we're still in that training phase of that piece of it. But for us, what we added to our landing page was some basics about the opportunities that we have. What we learned when we connected with NAS is that the opportunities, as we had them presented on what we call physician postings, were little 8.5 by 12 summary sheets that had just some real basic information about the community, about the hospital, about awards, about how great we are, a map that showed where we are in the state of Alabama and in relationship to Atlanta and other larger cities. And so this gives them the chance to scroll through. They can go to any part of our website that's available to the public and read about our hospital, our communities, each of our facilities, and see what we have to offer. And I think it's important that we have testimonials from some of our physicians added to that as well. And I see Matt scrolling it now, but we have pictures of our facilities. So we wanted to give them that so they can see what that looks like, see how big the facilities are, is it the right size? But then we have our physicians that were clearly willing to participate and provide us with information that they feel is important to their decision of why they're here and what their role is. And we have a great medical staff, and they're always willing to help us. All of you probably have that same level of engagement with your physicians, because they too see the importance of maintaining succession through recruitment. So we wanted to make sure we had that. And then we did ask them to just add our specialties, the things that we're looking for. So if y'all see anything that we're looking for that you have plenty of, please send them my way. And then just some overall photos of the facility, doctors at work. And then you see another video that was put together a few years back. And this is actually a video from the Chamber of Commerce. And the reason we have it on there is because it highlights young professionals in the community. Montgomery is an old Southern town. Most of its history is steeped in the civil rights movement. And so this video is important because it shows a growth level of professionals coming to our community and being able to succeed early in life. And so we've had quite a big growth of young professionals in our community, and that's why this video is important. It talks about how people have succeeded over time in the early stages of their careers or their professional life. And so we wanted that to be part of what we showed. And let's see, what else is next? Then you get to see our recruitment staff. But it makes it easy for them to access. They can email me directly, they can email Ginger directly, or Robin directly, or they can fill out the application form. And so we're excited to see how this works, how this elevates our ability to connect with physicians. And I think that moving forward, I'm not saying this is the end of the road, because who knows what technology is going to offer us in the coming days. But NAS has a good product that we're looking forward to digging into and utilizing. They will also, and I may be getting ahead of Matt's presentation, but we can get information from them, reports from them that show how it's performing for us. And that way we can tweak the information on the landing page, or maybe, there's something else that we need to do. So I think the navigation of technology and information between us is going to be very helpful as we begin to see how things move forward in the future.
Oh, that was great, Bonita. One of the things I love about this site is that it gives candidates so many different options, right? Like, I think before it was basically just email us, right? And now they
Yes,
can
yes,
email
it
you,
was
of course,
email
but they
us.
can, yeah, they can still do that, but they can also join the network. They can even search for the jobs. It's all, right here on the site.
Yes.
The other thing that was nice, Bonita, when we did this is the Chamber of Commerce was so happy to help, right? So we had that great video content that we didn't even have to create ourselves. They were happy to, share it and let us leverage it, all for them.
Yes. And that's key for us. And if you're in a community the size of ours or similar to ours, I would work with your Chamber of Commerce for content, because they know the importance of, not only is recruitment the lifeblood of the hospital organization, in some cases, it's the lifeblood of the community. And so our chamber has always been more than willing to share content with us, photos with us, and they're just a great resource for us when we're trying to do something different.
Perfect. Good. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and go back to share. All right, so just a couple more points here. So, and Bonita's absolutely right. This kind of goes into the analytics part, which is kind of the next step. Now that we've built this site, we're going to have some really rich data in terms of who's coming, how long they're staying, what content, what videos they're looking at, what path they're taking based on the information we put out there. So the goal from our standpoint is to not build a page and forget about it. It's to always have the page evolve based on what your candidates are looking for. The final point that I'll mention is just how do we get them there? So it's kind of like the old baseball saying, if you build it, will they come? You've got to drive traffic. You've got to let them know that you're out there. So the next kind of phase of most landing pages is to, make sure that it's linking properly. Make sure it's linking to different events or, like the PDFs she had mentioned of their different departments. Make sure all those links are enabled. You also want to link from your main overall, company website or your career site in general, making sure that there's a real clear line that no matter where a candidate is entering the process, that it's easy for them to find their way over to this landing page. A lot of times this is a mistake that I see where a lot of those landing pages are built, but then they're just kind of standing out on an island and to themselves, pretty lonely. Of course, there's ways to spend advertising, doing Google AdWords campaigns where you can really focus in on a specific audience and driving traffic from a paid standpoint, whether it's Google AdWords or banners, retargeting, geofencing. These are also other areas that we've done to really pinpoint candidates and send messaging to them that will get them motivated to come to the page. And then, of course, social media is becoming a more vital component to a lot of these sites, making sure that you're kind of sharing the content out there, connecting with the right types of talent that you're looking for, and starting to build those relationships from a social media standpoint. The one final thing I'll mention that I neglected to mention when I was on the site is the sites that we build are all mobile responsive. And that's really important today because many candidates are coming via a tablet or a phone. So you want to make sure that no matter what experience they're coming in on, that there's not a pinch and zoom experience, that they can really find what they're looking for very quickly and easily. Okay, so Bonita, I know that the site has just been launched a couple months. Would love to hear kind of your thoughts on where you take it from here.
Well, we are actually on on board and on schedule to have meetings with some of your staff to get us completely trained up on how to review everything and see where it is. One of the components that is important that that we've got to stay on top of is making sure that our postings match what y'all have in your system so that it actually flows across the system as it's supposed to. And so we're anxious about that. We have ads running different society pages as many of the recruitment companies or the recruitment recruiters across the system do. And this system will actually go out and find those for us and will help us track what kind of information flows from that as well. And so we're anxious to see where and how our money is best spent. And I think that's going to be important for us as we move forward. So not only getting the immediate application from the physicians, but also how our marketing efforts are utilized and where that focus needs to be. You mentioned geo-fencing, and we've tried some of that. And I know that a lot of people recommend that. And I'm not saying it's not a good thing, but this system will help us identify what's working and what's not. And that will ultimately be helpful to us. As you and I had talked on the phone the other day, when I first started in recruiting, putting a stamp on an envelope with a job posting or a letter in it to a physician was the way you reached out to physicians. And we've gone far beyond that now. So anything can change, and what works today may not work tomorrow. And so we have to always be, I kind of feel like sometimes I'm older, so some of you may not understand this, but in the old Westerns, they used to say dance, and they'd shoot at their feet, and the person would have to immediately start moving their feet like they were dancing, or they'd get their toes shot off. And so in recruitment, that's kind of what it is for us. It's a moving target, and you have to constantly be moving with it. And I think this offers us the best opportunity at the moment to be able to see what's working for us.
That's awesome. Great. Makes me glad I'm not a physician recruiter. I don't want people shooting at me all day long, but like you guys have. That's great.
Well, maybe not literally shooting, but
but it feels like it some days, right?
Yes.
There you go. Well, good. Well, hey, Bonita, thank you so much. You've been a really valuable partner to us. I'm glad you were willing and agreed to share your great story. I know it's still a journey that we're on, but I think that people got a lot out of this. Just to reiterate, we will be sharing a recording of this session as well as the slides afterwards. So certainly happy to share that post call. The other thing that I mentioned, as I alluded to at the beginning, is that for anyone who is who attended this webinar, we are offering a free competitor assessment. So we can look at your organization as well as a couple competitors that you select to really benchmark how your career site landing page experience is currently and how it compares with the marketplace. This can be kind of a nice first step exercise, again, just to assess whether it's right for your organization or not. So a free offering we're providing for anyone who would like it just at request after this call. So with that, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you again, Bonita, for your time and expertise, and we wish you all the best.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.